Buckle up, board game buckaroos, because we got a ton of campaigns launching this week and I'm not going to waste any time, so let's get into it. And the first campaign we have launches on the 15th and it's called Stroganov. And this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. And this is coming from the designer Andreas Stedding, who also designed games like Gugong and Stouffer Dynasty. And this game takes place back in 17th century Russia, and each player is going to be a Russian merchant seeking fame and fortune as they explore Siberia by horse, visiting different villages, trading coins for fur, as well as building yurts, hunting lodges, and buying fields. This game takes place over several seasons and over 4 rounds, and each round represents a year. This game uses things like action points, area movement, set collection, and worker placement, and the game's either named after a famous Russian merchant family or a delicious beef stew. And even though I don't know too much more on this game, I gotta say I'm pretty interested in this one. Both the designer and the publisher have a great track record, and not only does the artwork look incredible in this game, but the game just looks awesome set up on its own. Everything has a spot and it just looks really clean and tidy, and it doesn't give me the same anxiety that I see with some other games. I'm really looking forward to this campaign and learning more about the game, and if you are too, don't forget that you can check out the description below because I have links to all the campaign pages and you can go ahead and hit that notify button. And the next campaign we have launches on the 16th, and this one's for Bloodstone, and this is by the designer James Hudson, who you might know from Druid City Games. And although the Board Game Geek page says this plays 2 to 6 players, the campaign page says that it plays 1 to 8. But what worries me the most is that this game's apparently played best with none. Sorry James, I'm sure this game also plays excellent with people as well. The game takes 30 to 60 minutes to play, and it's an arena combat game where the players are actually trapped in a loop. Every night they're forced to fight against each other to the death, only to be resurrected the next day, just to do it all over again. And this is the handiwork of an evil sorceress. The Bloodstone is an evil and powerful relic that enchants anyone who possesses it. I'm not sure how it fits into the game, but I'm sure it'll play a critical role. Speaking of critical roles, the game uses a custom dice mechanism where you're going to be rolling the dice to determine your attacks and movements, and the game does have player elimination. The game looks like it has some really nice production value with some fantastic art and miniatures. And if you sign up on their website before the campaign launches, you'll also get a promotional D20 with your pledge that comes with a Bloodstone embedded in it. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And the next campaign, also launching on the 16th, is one that I think a lot of you are going to be super excited about, and it's called Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. And this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 45 to 60 minutes to play. And this is not an expansion, it's actually a standalone game, but it plays completely with cards. And this looks like it's going to try and give that same Terraforming Mars experience, but with a much more simplified game that plays in a lot quicker of a playtime. And this is one that I'm super interested in because I really do like that Terraforming Mars experience, but I feel like the game just goes on a little bit too long, so I'm interested to see this different design approach and how it affects the game. This game has a few designers, but the original designer is one of them, and that's something I always love to see in these little spin-offs. I've mentioned a few times now that smaller games like this don't really make sense to go on Kickstarter because it just ends up driving up that cost, and these smaller games just don't offer as much opportunity to add extra value. So I'd really keep an eye on what sort of exclusives and extras this campaign is going to offer you, and if there's not a lot, I'd probably just hold off until retail. But either way, you're definitely going to want to check this one out. And the next campaign, also launching on the 16th, is called Lawklivya Vengeance, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 1 to 2 hours to play. And in this game, players are going to have to work cooperatively because they're all part of a community that's under attack. Players are going to have to use dice rolling and worker placement in order to fight and gather resources in order to build up their castle walls and fight back against the enemies. These resources can also be used to create weapons and to upgrade your workers into warriors. And if everyone survives long enough, the game's going to end in an epic boss battle, and don't think you're only defending your own castle because everyone needs to survive, so you're going to be sending resources out to help your neighbors and to help defend their castles as well. I just want to take a second to thank all of you and my sponsor for helping support this channel. I do all of this work for free for publishers, so it's really thanks to all of you for making this a little bit more sustainable for me. Sponsoring this video is kickstartergames.com, and if you want to help support the channel while still getting something nice for yourself, I definitely recommend checking them out because any sales made there, a small percentage of that sale will come back and help this channel. Kickstartergames.com not only sells games, but they also buy them as well, which means that they occasionally get Kickstarter deluxeified versions of games into their inventory. They don't last very long, but if you check back frequently, you might get your hands on one of those. Every month they do a board game giveaway, and all you have to do to enter is sign up to their newsletter, and every month you'll just get automatically entered into that raffle. The owner is also a really cool guy, and he's also active in the board game community, so you can also feel pretty good for supporting him as well. There's too many good campaigns this week, because the next campaign we have is the Paladins of the West Kingdom City of Crowns expansion, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 90 to 120 minutes to play. And this is an expansion to the original Paladins of the West Kingdom, which has a really nice rating with an 8.1 on BGG, and this game was all about building faith, strength, and influence, and trying to build up your city, all while being attacked by outsiders. Players are competing against each other to gain the most victory points at the end of the game. And this expansion adds everyone's favorite thing to the game, politics. Because you're going to have to use your negotiation and diplomacy in order to gain help from your allies if you ever want to fight off these outsiders. This expansion adds new extensions to both the main board and the player boards, and players are going to have a new attribute to manage and new actions available on each turn. I did not back the original campaign for this one, but I keep hearing from my friends how amazing this game is, and I really do trust their opinion when it comes to board games, so this is one that I'm definitely going to be taking a closer look this time around. If anyone's willing to teach me this game on Tabletop Simulator, I have a Discord link in the description below. Come find me on there and let's do it. And the next campaign we have also launches on the 16th, and it's called Factory Floor, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 20 to 30 minutes to play. And in this game, players are all going to be managing their own factory floor, and players are going to be competing to make the most productive factory, and players are going to be placing polyomino shapes in order to install their machines and build their production lines to build up their factory. Each round, you're also going to be hiring workers and assigning them to different areas in your plant in order to optimize your production. The game plays over 5 production phases, and whoever has the most production at the end of the game wins the game. This game also offers a very interesting single-player campaign mode where you're going to be building your factory over 15 scenarios and trying to achieve certain production goals in order to save the town. And the next campaign, also launching on the 16th, is called Auction Web, and this game plays 2 to 5 players and takes about 15 to 25 minutes to play. And this is themed all around the digital world, and players are going to be 5 mysterious organizations bidding cryptocurrencies for different properties in order to win the game. The different properties also offer some different abilities that you might need to win the game, so you're going to want to be strategic with your timing because it's the highest card that wins the property. But that's not all there is to it, because many of these cards are dual purpose and have special effects that trigger upon a loss. This game also uses mechanisms like hand management and sack collection, and remember that you always want to get in on that crypto before Elon Musk tweets about it. And the next campaign also launches on the 16th, and it's called Beasts of Balance, and this plays 1 to 5 players and takes about 15 to 30 minutes to play. And this is a party game where Jenga meets Pokemon, because players are going to be working together cooperatively to build a tower of creatures, and then you're going to be jumping onto a digital app to try and nurture and evolve those creatures. And the way that the tower is built is going to influence those creatures, so you're going to want to build in a particular way so that the most creatures evolve before the tower collapses. The game uses a series of sensors to recognize the pieces in play to make all of this possible. And the next campaign also launches on the 16th, and it's called Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber. And this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 12 to 20 minutes to play. And this is actually a pretty interesting game because it's an asymmetric tile placement hidden roles game. The mouse wants to get the cheese, and the cat wants to get the mouse, and the cheese just wants everyone to get along. It's neutral, it's Swiss. And then there's the cucumber that's evil and wants everyone to be trapped in the tiles together. Players are going to be taking turns placing different tiles to build a maze, and the different role that you have is going to dictate the objective that you have to win the game. The different tiles you place might cause other tiles to rotate or different characters to move, so you're going to want to outwit your opponents to get your objective to win the game. This game also offers 2 solo modes, and it can also be pieced together as an actual puzzle. And the next campaign launching on the 16th is called Vault Wars Relic Roadshow, and this plays 3 to 5 players and takes about 30 to 60 minutes to play. And this is an expansion to the original game Vault Wars, where players would take turns as an auction master, auctioning off different vaults of items and junk. And each vault auctioned off offers a unique way for players to bid, and no players quite know exactly what's in the vault. And the different items can give victory points, gold, or powerful special abilities. Each player also has their own objective, and they're trying to get specific items to get bonus points for the end of the game. This expansion adds some special rules that rewards the second highest bidder with an evil, powerful relic. Players can choose to craft these relics and use them for some special abilities, but it does come at a cost because using these abilities will corrupt you, which will cause some complications as you try to win the game. This expansion has a very strong team of designers with Ian Moss and Jonathan Gilmore, who between the two have created games like Dinosaur Island, Wonderland's War, Dead of Winter, and Wasteland Express Delivery Service. If this game sounds interesting to you, I think you can have full confidence that these designers will get it done right. And the next campaign, also launching on the 16th, is called Silicon Saga: Wreck of the Andromeda. And this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 1 to 2 hours to play. And this is a cooperative dungeon crawl where players are going to be exploring a wrecked space station, and players are going to be trying to work together to gather as much silicone to reach a quota and get that back to their ship before the game ends. As you may have guessed, the space station is not going to be quite as abandoned as you hoped, and you're going to be running into different survivors and threats that you're going to have to deal with throughout the game. This game uses drafting and deck building, and on a player's turn they draw a certain number of cards and perform a number of actions. Different events are going to occur throughout the game that will challenge the players, and players are going to find different resources to help them craft different weapons, find ammo, and manage their condition in order to survive and ultimately win the game. And if you don't like being nice with your friends, this game also offers a mode where you can play competitively. And the next campaign we have is launching on the 17th, and this is going to be another Zombicide game from CMON, and it's called Zombicide: Undead or Alive. And this is going to have a Western theme, and I don't know exactly what they're going to do to differentiate this from the other Zombicide games, but they normally stick with that core formula and just tweak a couple things, just so that it plays a little differently than all the other Zombicides made previously. If you haven't played Zombicide, it's a cooperative dungeon crawl game where you're getting attacked by hordes and hordes of zombies as you try to achieve certain goals, and each player is going to be controlling their own character or set of characters that they can upgrade throughout the game. In addition to upgrading your character, you'll also find different items and weapons that you can use to help along the way as well. Combat's resolved with dice rolling, and the game comes with a series of scenarios that can be played sort of like a campaign. Like any CMON game, this is going to have some really nice miniatures, and one thing I really like about the Zombicide campaign specifically is that CMON always throws in some really fun character miniatures that will resemble different characters from pulp culture. So I definitely recommend following it along, even just to see what sort of crazy miniatures pop up. And the next campaign launching on the 17th is called Block and Key, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 20 to 40 minutes to play. And this is a very interesting game as it makes use of 3D space in a very different way than most other board games. This game uses a shared play area that has 2 levels on it, and players are going to be drafting shapes from the bottom level and then placing them on the top level in order to create different patterns to fulfill objective cards that they might have in order to gain victory points and win the game. And then that lower level is also going to have 3D shapes put out in a grid, and there's going to be 9 shapes in total, so on a player's turn they can draft from those shapes by taking a full row or a full column. But the thing that I find really interesting about this game is the way that these objective cards are fulfilled, and that's done by each player trying to build a pattern by putting these 3D blocks into the shared space, but each player only really cares about the 2D plane that they can see from their perspective at the table. So depending on which side of the board you're sitting on, you're going to see a different pattern. So if you can ever match the block pattern on your card with what you see in the 2D space, then you've fulfilled that card. I think this game is going to present a really fun puzzle and a lot of good decisions throughout the game, which was really nice considering how easy the rule set is to teach to your friends. All the artwork on this looks great, and all those 3D blocks will give this that deluxe feel that I think we all want whenever we go ahead and back a Kickstarter. If you're looking for a fun game that's quick to set up and teach, definitely check this one out. I'll leave a link to the campaign in the description below. And if you back this one in the first day, you'll get your name immortalized in the top of the box. And the next campaign launches on the 19th, and it's called Tharos, and this plays 2 to 4 players, and I'm gonna guess it takes about 60 minutes to play. And this is a game where players are competing guilds trying to fight for resources on the planet Tharos. This is a dice bag building game where the dice represent actions and the value of the dice represent their respective strengths. Players are going to be putting those dice out on their player boards as well as their player cards in order to perform these different actions, and you're going to be upgrading your player board and building up your engine and getting more powerful throughout the game. Players will explore the land for natural resources, gain crystals and ore, and build new mines to exploit the land, and they'll even engage in combat. And those are all the campaigns I have for you this week, but don't leave yet because we have a giveaway to announce, and these are the easiest giveaways to enter. All you have to do is leave a comment down below, and this giveaway is going to be for a pledge for the game Maquis, which is currently on Kickstarter. And this is a solo game set back in World War II, and you're going to be taking on the role as the French resistance, fighting back against the Nazi presence in your country, and you're going to be sending out different agents throughout the day trying to achieve certain goals to gain more influence. But there are going to be soldiers patrolling the area, and if you don't get your agents back in time, they're going to get captured, never to be seen again. This game was a nominee for a Golden Geek Award, and it's had a lot of positive comments in the ratings tab on its Board Game Geek page, and I've also heard from a few people outside of Board Game Geek on how much they've liked this game. If you are interested in this one, the rules are posted on the campaign page. There's also a print and play and a tabletop simulator version of the game. Just keep in mind that this Kickstarter version is going to be coming with some extra missions and content that aren't provided in those other digital versions. And this giveaway is going to be for the second edition pledge, which comes with the core game, all the new content, and an updated rulebook. And I feel like we've all been in a little bit of our own solo game with the whole world going into lockdown lately. So to enter this giveaway, just leave a comment down below with the hashtag Maquis and let us know a silver lining or something positive that has came from you staying in quarantine. The winter roads can get pretty bad here in Canada, so I gotta say I'm pretty happy I've been able to avoid driving as much as I have this year. And de-icing your car is never a fun thing to do. And this next giveaway is going to be for a pledge for Darwin's Journey. And this is going to be for the full base game, but this giveaway is going to be a little bit different because I had actually already drawn a winner, but they never reached out to me, and I even reached out to them and they still didn't respond. So I feel kind of bad about this because this hasn't happened before with any of my giveaways, but I've done everything I can and I got to draw the line somewhere, so I feel like the next best thing is just to redraw for this pledge. And this was a game that I got to play on Tabletop Simulator, and I will 100% vouch for this game. It's a lot of fun. I played with 2 players and it was very solid. I really liked upgrading your workers, and I really liked all the different options that the game provided. The rules were a little bit to get through, but once you get going, everything makes sense and it has a really nice flow. And because I've already announced this giveaway in a video in the past, I want to do it a little bit differently this time. It's still going to be incredibly easy to enter. All you have to do is go down into the description below and join our Discord, and I'll have a giveaways channel on that Discord. Just go to that and I'll have a post announcing this giveaway, and all you have to do is click a little button and you'll be entered in the giveaway. While you're there, feel free to say hello in the main chat, and you can also roll for initiative to see how the server welcomes you. And now let's go ahead and draw the winner for last week's contest, and this was for an all-in pledge for the game Reload. And this is a Battle Royale board game, which is inspired by a lot of those video games like Call of Duty or Unreal Tournament. And to draw a winner, I use this fancy application here, and all these extra names down here are bonus entries for my Patreon subscribers. If you like this sort of content and you want to help support the channel, definitely check that out. I really appreciate it, and you get a really nice perk with these extra entries into the contest every week. So let's go ahead and draw those comments. And let's draw a winner. And for this giveaway, I'd ask viewers to let us know what their favorite Battle Royale video game was. And our winner is Thrain. Congratulations. And they say that the Battle Royale game that they still reload from time to time for a fragging good time is Halo. Nice integration of the hashtag. Just email me at adam@shelfclear.com and we'll get that pledge all sorted out. Thanks so much everyone for watching. I hope this video was useful and you found some new campaigns. Until next time, keep that shelf cluttered and the table full.